Hi. Hello. I will just wait a couple of moments to see if anybody jumps on. So I'm talking to you guys from Koh Phangan in Thailand, and I thought I would do a live and do something a little bit different today and try this new this new, I don't know what it is, but it's amazing. I love it. But I thought, as I'm going to be talking about the energies and what's been happening for the last 3 weeks and what's coming up, I thought it was really appropriate to apply this new wave. I really don't even know what to call it, but yeah, I think it's really cool. So yeah. So hi everyone, thanks for joining. Hope you've got time to stick around for what I'm going to be talking about today. But what has been coming up over the last 3-4 weeks with a lot of my clients, for myself, and just my friends in general, my fellow healers, teachers, etc. So we've been experiencing, as I'm sure you're all aware, like it's been really intense this last month. And I'm not talking about the 3D BS. I'm just talking in general, just the energies, the intensities. So we've had, I'm not an astrologist, so I'm not going to be talking about planets and all of this, because I don't know enough about all this to start giving information about what's going on planetary wise, but I'm also really in touch with energy and what's going on. I'm in touch, I communicate with my higher self, and I ask my higher self, who always knows what's going on, because our higher self is, our energy, the higher dimension aspects of ourselves. And our higher self is not connected to our ego. Its higher self is not connected to, there's no agenda with our higher self, right? There's no material agenda, there's no worry about safety, security, survival. Our higher self is just presence. It's just our presence, our high dimensional presence that literally has no agenda. So when we can tune in and communicate with our higher self, we will always receive correct, accurate guidance that's relative to what's going on with our personal lives and with our own energy. So our higher self will always guide us correctly. There's no interference from any outside forces when we're communicating with our higher self. So I recommend anybody to, when you are doing any, when you want any inner guidance, or you have any questions, that you communicate and ask your higher self, rather than asking external sources, because external sources can be wrong. They can give wrong information, they can misguide you, they can miscommunicate information to you. The higher self will never let you down, because the higher self has your best interests at heart. So anyway, my point is, I communicate with my higher self, and I ask, when I'm experiencing or going through any challenges, or I'm really feeling deeply the energies, then I tune into my higher self and ask what's going on, as well as seeking guidance from like astrologers, and what's relative in the planetary aspects, what's going on collectively, what's going on universally, galactically, that kind of thing. And we've had 2 really intense eclipses in this last month. We've had the lunar eclipse, the full moon lunar eclipse, and the new moon solar eclipse. So quite a few of my friends and clients have asked me over the last week that, or rather they've messaged me, and they've asked me what's going on, like they're feeling really discombobulated, as I have myself. I think because I post quite often on my I'm very open, I wear my heart on my sleeve, I do this work, and I always post what's going on other people can tune into and communicate with me for help if they need, to kind of understand what's going on. So many people have asked me over the last week that they're experiencing a lot of buzzing and ringing in their heads. They're having headaches, they're feeling really fatigued, they're having a lot of unexplained body pain. And me also, I've never had as much pain in my body as what I have this last 2 weeks. So again, when I tune into my higher self, despite what I know what's going on, in the galactic, in universal, I always want to know what's going on for myself personally. And so I ask to be shown, and then something comes to me, something's presented to me, whether it's something that's presented to me in an advert, via Google, or in a sign, or via a post, or via a meme, or, we're presented to, when we ask for guidance and we ask for information, it comes to us in a multitude of ways. And so it's always tuning in and seeing the signs. So firstly, for the last month, I've been seeing a lot of synchronicities with numbers. I've been seeing a lot of 1111, like 1111, 111, 222, 333, 6. So I've been seeing 666, not 666 as in time, but I've been seeing 666, and that doesn't mean that it's Satan. I've been seeing, just a lot of synchronicities with time. When I turn on my phone or I look at my phone, and it's like 111 or 1111 or 222 or 1212 or something like this. So it's really been really interesting. Always good to pay attention to these signs, because there's always some inner work we need to do, whether it's just tuning in and realigning ourselves, or tapping into what 1 means, what 2 is, what the numerology guidance is behind the numbers. And so as we've had these eclipses, we've also had a lot of electromagnetic interference from the sun. There's been a lot of sun activity, solar activity, and there's a ring around the sun at the moment that's emitting like really powerful waves of energy that's interfering with the electromagnetic field of Earth, right? So when the sun's electromagnetic frequency is intensified, and we're experiencing a lot of solar storms, and the CMEs, the blasts, we've just been having so much activity, solar activity, and this affects the electromagnetic field of the Earth, which ultimately, because we are part of the Earth, we're not separate from the Earth, we're not separate even from the sun, then we also will feel this electromagnetic interference in our body. So we've been receiving a lot of high frequency energy, and this energy has been, it's kind of been affecting our DNA, right? So a lot of people are talking at the moment about DNA activation and receiving upgrades and receiving downloads, and this is not spiritual woo. It really is. This is really how it is. Everybody's having these, as the planet's moving through her ascension process, everybody who is living on this earth, whether it's the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, humanity, we're all going to feel this energy, and we're all going to feel these the intensities. We're all going to feel these shifts in consciousness. So we're receiving that through our DNA, because again, what we are part of, it's all part of our blueprint. Our blueprint is connected to the earth blueprint. So our template and the earth template, it's connected. So we're having this energetic interference, but for me it's positive. It's a beautiful positive thing, because we are receiving these upgrades. We're receiving these light codes that are coming through, that's affecting us at cellular level. So this, as it's upgrading us, we will feel, people who are doing this kind of work, if you're doing light work and healing, the body will be able to hold this light. There'll be enough space, internal space in the body, for the body to hold this light. But if you're not doing any kind of work, then the body can experience it in as in pain. You know, as the body's receiving and going through its shifts, it's going to be purging. So everybody's gonna be feeling it at different levels. So what the symptoms have been coming up for me, and what has been coming up for a lot of my clients, is just again physical body pain. Sorry, I've had to make some notes so I know what I'm talking about, otherwise I can go off on a tangent. But yeah, physical pain, digestive issues, buzzing in the head, ringing in the head, visual issues, skin irritation. Like I've been itching, my skin constantly itching, and I feel like I'm being bit by something quite often, you know, that something's biting me and then there's nothing there. And it's also been affecting my hormone levels, you know, chemically as well, as I'm going through these hormonal changes. And also fatigue, like people have been feeling really fatigued and headaches. And also, aside from the physical, people have been experiencing emotional triggers, right? There's these energies have been bringing up a lot of old baggage, old outdated programming for people to address. My battery's going to die. I might have to go in my house soon because my battery's going to die. Yeah, if you find that you've been experiencing triggers, emotional triggers, like anger, or you've been experiencing like internal chaos or any unexplained anxiety, or like 1 minute high elation and the next minute kind of crashing into like low bouts of like depression like energy. So I'm just going to move into my house because my battery's going to die. Yeah, so you may have been experiencing like depression, bouts of depression, and this is all to do with, you know, the frequencies that we're receiving at the moment and the shifts in consciousness that we're experiencing at the moment. And it's like a roller coaster, really. You get to the top and it's like, oh shit, oh no, and then the roller coaster starts going down, or you start going up and it's a slow climb, and you get this anxiety because you know what's coming, right? But then suddenly you get to the top and you're looking at the top and it's really high, and then it's really scary. So we can experience all of these crazy intense energies, and this is what a lot of people are doing. So what I would say to all of you who are doing the training, the Akashic training with me, I'm just plugging my battery in, sorry. Okay. For any of you who are doing the Akashic, you know, those of you who are tuning in who have been doing the Akashic training on the Alchemy program with me, or you've had a reading and I've given you your integration transmutations, just keep doing it. Even if you feel like after your integration period you need to keep going, just keep going, because it will help to clear the energies, and it will help you to keep your system clearing and purging, because we're not just purging physical toxicity, we're purging mental, emotional, spiritual toxicity. We're also, all of us, as we're experiencing these energy waves and as we're experiencing these upgrades and we're having our higher strands of our DNA being activated, you know, we're having our energy bodies kind of upgraded, you know, we're moving into like higher dimensional levels of awareness, you know, within all the chakra bodies. And so we're constantly going to be moving through these waves, and we're going to be purging on so many layers and so many levels and so many different we're going to be like dipping in and out of 3D, 5D consciousness. So if you are experiencing triggers and you're being triggered by 3D announcements, media announcements, government announcements, or you're being triggered by, you know, family, friends, loved ones, tap into what that trigger is. You know, if it's anger, if it's anxiety, and ask your higher self to show you where it's actually coming from, and be present with that anger. So try to not react to what it is and tap into it, because what all of this is giving us is a perfect opportunity to go inside and actually do this work, because this year 5 in numerology, the year 5, which is all about realignment, you know, it's really it's in general realignment. We can't realign something if we're not doing the work and clearing out what we need to be clearing. You know, we have to clear out the old, the baggage, address all of the surface stuff that's coming up, rather than continue suppressing it, because this is what a lot of people are doing because of the external chaos and how they're feeling within the external reality. People are suppressing what's coming up for them internally, and of course what's happening externally is a reflection, it's a mirror of what's going on internally, right? You know, if you're experiencing external chaos, it's because there's internal chaos. And, you know, if there's external conflict, it's because there's internal conflict. So it's addressing what's going on, you know, as the saying goes, you know, heal thyself, heal thy neighbour. You know, it all really does start with us. So, you know, the year 5 that we're in now is all about realignment, and this year was always going to be, because it's also relative to inconsistency and uncertainty, which we've all been experiencing this on a 3D level. And you know, this year was all about change, and interestingly about freedom. And of course what's happening now is we're having our freedom threatened, right? And so we need to, all of us, each individual it's taking responsibility and ownership for what our triggers are. And it's not somebody's making me angry, somebody's reflecting that anger back to you. There's already anger inside of you, so where is it coming from? How can you transmute that energy? How can you heal whatever needs to be healed? What is the root of the anger? Why are you angry? You know, what is the origin of this anger? And that's just an example. A lot of people are experiencing grief and sadness. You know, there's grief and sadness coming up for people, which has been very prevalent in my readings that I'm doing for people. A lot of grief energy, a lot of also a lot of trauma energy. People are experiencing trauma on many levels at the moment, and there's a lot of trauma contracts in people's readings that I'm doing. And so we're experiencing this on an external level. There's a lot of, you know, collective trauma, and this has been reflected again, it's reflecting back to us. So how we're perceiving our external reality is basically a reflection of what's going on for us internally. So this is an amazing opportunity to do our work. And for those of you who are, you know, on a spiritual path, or you're doing spiritual work, whatever it is that you're doing, when we do experience any challenges, it helps us to navigate the challenges. So for me, this last 2-3 weeks has been really intense. I've had 2 minor motorbike accidents that, again, they're minor, thankfully. But again, it just brings your attention to, you know, there are things outside of us that are outside of our control, but it's all invited by us, and it's all part of our path to understand what it's not everything's a lesson, but it's to kind of understand what I can take from this accident. You know, for example, not paying attention, and being sent signs, to listen to higher guidance and higher signs, being told to do things by your higher self or by your universe, you know, but ignoring it, and then eventually something's going to happen where your own personal universe will stop you in your tracks and make you pay attention. And even whether it's something like slowing down and resting and being present with yourself, because we're constantly seeking things, looking for things outside of ourselves. We're constantly looking for the next goal. looking for the next achievement, looking for the next course to do, looking for the next yoga class, looking for the next video to watch to, you know, inspire you, or and not actually going inwards and being present. So all of this year, this uncertainty, this inconsistency, and just in general, the message behind the year 5 is realignment. You know, in order to realign ourselves, we need to address what is no longer in alignment. And so what is happening for a lot of people, in my experience, and myself also, is that what is no longer in alignment with us is falling away. We're losing it. So all of these people out there who are being threatened into doing things that they don't want to do. I don't need to mention what that is, because I'm sure you're all aware what I'm talking about. But you know, if you're being threatened with losing your job, or not being able to access something that you've had that's been accessible to you for years and years and years, then try not to take it as a loss. Try to take it as, okay, maybe this XYZ, maybe this job, maybe this place, maybe this person, maybe, you know, if you're losing friends and, you know, you're having kind of difficulties with loved ones, then maybe this is no longer in alignment with where you're at, and it's time to. It doesn't mean that you have to let go of, you know, especially when it comes to people, you don't have to fall out with people or lose them, but it's like stepping away from something that's no longer in alignment, so that you can create space to invite new things into your life. So yeah, what is no longer in alignment with you, and why is it no longer in alignment? What is next for you? What is coming up for you? Tune in and ask your higher self. So coming into next year, 2022 is a year 6, right? And so the year 6 is all about harmony. In numerology, it's about harmony. For me, this is what I'm getting now, is harmony and self-responsibility, and also kind of gratitude and connection. So in order for us to experience harmony in our lives, we need to, again, coming back to self-responsibility, it's really important that we all take responsibility for our own healing processes. Whatever is going on with us, we can't expect other people to make us happy or to heal us, or, you know, happiness is not an outside job, it's an inside job, and it's a choice that we can all make. And it's not easy to be in a constant state of joy. You know, we're navigating really difficult times at the moment, but in general, we're constantly going through a barrage of emotions. We're shifting chemically, we're shifting spiritually, we're shifting physically, you know, we're shifting like interdimensionally, and multidimensionally. You know, we're constantly moving through so many changes at the moment, but ultimately, you know, we have to take responsibility for our own actions, our own self-expression, what we're doing with our life, you know, the choices that we make, so we can bring ourselves into harmony, and, you know, we can experience this gratitude and, you know, be blessed in our lives. And it doesn't mean that, you know, a lot of people think that if we do spiritual practices that you know, we're going to experience and we're going to be in a constant state of enlightenment. You know, this is not how it is, and it's impossible to live in this 3D reality and live and be enlightened. You know, we can experience periods of enlightenment, and we can experience periods of bliss and samadhi, nirvana, when we're doing our yoga practice or meditations or whatever it is that can, you know, these getting out in nature, we can experience these periods of bliss. But we're not going to be constantly in this constant state of bliss. So it's about harmonizing and integrating, you know, what's been coming up for me this year, which I always knew at the end of last year. I was getting the word when I asked what's coming up for me next year, and I was getting integration. And I asked again now, and I get the same, the integration and, you know, harmony, balance. So this year for me, my personal year, has been a year 2, which has been all about balance, and it's been all about reflection. You know, the 2 in numerology, you know, symbolizing balance and reflection, also partnership and diversity. And I've really been feeling all of that, all of this, and I've had to really slow down this year. You know, it's been intense collectively, and it's been intense personally. You know, I worked really, really hard last year. I wrote 2 courses, and I wrote and was teaching 2 courses. And so this year I've had to really slow down and, you know, be really present with myself. And as I'm going through a process myself, I'm going through my own process with my hormones, unfortunately, coming into the menopause, which is quite depressing on a 3D level to, you know, vanity. Oh no, I'm getting old. But also honouring myself and honouring these changes that I'm going through, and honouring my body telling me that it wants to slow down and not work so much, my body needing to rebalance and recharge, and also to integrate, thank you for the love, and to integrate this new me, right? So this is my new normal, and my new normal is slower, much more slow. And so I've really had to come to terms with this, and that's been a real process for me this year, of having to slow down, because I've always been like quite high energy and had a lot of energy. As you all see my travels, I'm constantly moving and traveling, and so this last 2 years has been amazing for being really grounded in one place. You know, having that freedom to travel taken away from us, but rather than being angry, just appreciating that this is where I needed to be, and what this whole current situation has done for me is given me, it kind of took the choice away of moving. You know, I basically had to stay here and ground myself, but had I not, I probably would have suppressed all of the, you know, these changes that I'm going through and all of these emotions I've been experiencing. I likely would have suppressed it, because I would have been moving and traveling, and I would have been overwhelmed by all the excitement of traveling to all these beautiful new places, and likely pushed everything to the back. And eventually, when we do ignore and suppress, and we just, you know, we're constantly moving, then eventually our body's going to create an issue so that we have to slow down, whether that's in an illness or in an accident, or this is what the body does, right? So the signs are there. So it's kind of tapping into your body and spotting the signs before something happens that makes you stop. And a lot of healers, a lot of people, a lot of my friends, a lot of my clients have been getting sick. A lot of them have had really bad colds and flu viruses, and I've said to them that, you know, this is all part of the detox. Also, it's not necessarily that you have a particular virus, or, you know, it's also detox systems. So a lot of people are experiencing detox systems and detox symptoms, and these symptoms are very similar to colds and flu viruses, because their body's going through some changes. And so rather than using the C word and constantly telling yourself, oh, I have this C word, I have a flu virus, I have this, you know, just your body just needs to rest. Just tell yourself, okay, my body needs to rest, I'm experiencing detox. So fast, drink plenty of juices, drink plenty of water, just help your body to go through the changes it needs to go through. And, you know, nurture yourself, be loving to yourself, be kind to yourself, and, you know, help yourself, because this is what the intensities that we've experienced with the sun, with the electromagnetic storms, with the, you know, with the solar flares, the physical symptoms that, you know, a lot of people are having unexplained physical symptoms. But, you know, tune into your body, and your body will give you the answers it needs. So coming up for 2022, just coming back to the year 6, harmony, harmony. In order to harmonize, we need to bring ourselves into alignment, and we need to let go of everything that is no longer serving us on any level. And just be present with yourself and try not to, engage with the 3D collective, because what's actually happening, some of you might have seen my post yesterday, what's actually happening galactically, universally, with the planets, with all of the war on consciousness, everything that's going on a higher level, makes this 3D stuff just seem like a walk in the park. It really is. And there's a lot of stuff going on that we can't even comprehend down here on planet Earth. And I'm just doing some trainings at the moment and learning a lot about all of the the galactic wars that are going on. And yeah, it's fascinating to read all about this, what is actually going on, the bigger picture. And I feel really positive. What's happening at the moment is, like I said, it's just nothing in comparison, but it's a process that we're having to go through, because it's all purging. What's going on planet Earth at the moment is a huge purging, and that's what it's all about. So we're purging individually, and we're purging collectively. So try to be present with yourself and try not to engage with all of this nonsense, because that's all it is. It's nonsense. And I know, that might be a little bit, it might be hard to hear that this is nonsense, but it is nonsense generally. But people are being affected, a lot of people are being affected, and a lot of people are having their lives changed. But the point I'm trying to make is just try not to engage, and please don't do something that is against your beliefs. Stay in your power, and just try to not engage and not react. But when anything comes up for you personally, just be present with it and ask, where it's coming from, and work on your own stuff. And just be supportive to each other, really. Just help each other through, whichever side of the fence you're sitting or standing or walking. We're here to hold each other and support each other and guide each other through this purging that we're experiencing right now. And, we're not to be part of the problem and the separation, be part of the solution by taking responsibility for, your own lives, your own healing, and just trying to help the people who are not aware through all of this, because there are people out there who kind of don't really understand what's going on a bigger level, because they're happy in their own ignorant bliss, as they say. So just be supportive to each other, hold each other, and be aware what's going on energetically, so that you can navigate yourself through all of the changes, and you can nurture yourself, because ultimately that's what it's all about. It's nurturing yourself through all of this process and helping yourself through these purges, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, the changes that we're going through, because we're having some real intense changes at the moment. It's everything's been alchemized, right? It's collective alchemy, individual alchemy. The earth's changing, everything's changing. So So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I see that there's a few comments, but I can't read what the comments are because I don't have my glasses on, so I'm really sorry. I'll read afterwards. But thank you everybody for watching, and if anybody wants to drop me a message, yeah, if you want to share anything or ask me anything personally, you know, I'll try and help where I can. But yeah, so realignment, let go of everything that is no longer in alignment with the new you, because every day we're shifting and we're changing. We're all going through an intense process. So just allow yourself to go through this process. Be present, relax, just love yourself. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you all have a beautiful day. And yeah, I'll see you on the other side. I'm going to turn this this special Instagram effect off now. Let me know what you think about this Instagram effect. It's like a real psychedelic. Oh yeah, just before I go, one last thing. So about a month ago, I had this really bizarre experience with, I was sitting watching TV, and all of a sudden I started having this like real psychedelic, I just went blind in my left eye, and I just started having this psychedelic experience where, I don't know if any of you ever had this, like a psychedelic kaleidoscope in school, where it's like a binoculars and then you turn it and it's all these multi colours, like rainbow colours, and it's like it just gives you all these strange psychedelic pictures and images. So this is what started to happen in my left eye, and I was thinking that there was something wrong with the TV at first. And so I was looking at the TV and I was squinting. I literally couldn't see anything out of my left eye. And then it progressed over into my right eye to the point that I couldn't see anything. And I was literally blind apart from this psychedelic trip. It was like I was having this amazing trip without any psychedelics. And I literally just had to sit there because I couldn't see. And I was really scared because I was thinking that like something bizarre is happening to me. And yeah, I was really scared, and I took myself to bed. I managed to navigate myself into my bedroom and lie on my bed, because I knew that I just had to surrender to whatever it was, hoping that it would pass soon, which it did. It lasted for about 40 minutes, and when I closed my eyes, it was even worse. It was even more like psychedelic, and I thought, okay, so I'm having some kind of a, yeah, some pineal, some third eye, I don't know, some really bizarre third eye thing going on. And yeah, eventually it passed, and yeah, then I communicated with one of my friends because I just had to tell somebody like what this crazy experience was. But when I tapped in a few days later, I asked my higher self, like, what was this experience that I had? And my higher self said, I was told it was my alter major chakra, the one of the morphogenetic chakras in the back of our head, that it was something to do with my, yeah, like, I don't really know what it says, like the alter major being activated or something, but it's kind of connected to you know, the pineal. But yeah, it was a really interesting process. And yes, I don't know if anybody's ever experienced anything like that. I had one friend this morning who messaged me and said she's having like some kind of Morse code energies going on in her head. She's hearing this like doot, 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 doot. So yeah, there's a lot of strange activations going on, and everybody's experiencing these upgrades in different ways and different levels. So yeah, let me know if you've experienced anything bizarre in the last few weeks while we've been having all of this solar activity. Alright guys, have a beautiful day. Sending you all lots of love. Bye.